It's time for another weather rewind, where we look back at this past week's weather, but with a twist. This week, we're looking back at a tornado outbreak out west Sunday night. Although February tornadoes aren't too common, even out there, severe weather season is right around the corner, so we've got to keep a closer eye on it all. With that said, let's rewind. Folks in Oklahoma and nearby Kansas were left assessing the damage Monday after a series of rare February tornadoes hit the southern plains. In Norman, Oklahoma, the devastation was widespread. At least a dozen people were injured on Sunday, and hundreds of structures were damaged. Cars were flipped over, homes had their roofs torn off, and debris lined the streets. The National Weather Service confirmed a high-end EF2 tornado was on the ground for 26 minutes and traveled 26 miles. EF2 tornadoes can have winds between 111 to 135 miles an hour. 9 tornadoes were reported in total, and it's only a matter of time before severe weather season picks up across the country and, of course, here in central PA too. So with that in mind, I think it's a great time to give a refresher on the severe weather outlooks and the categories used to help explain the severe weather risk. You'll see outlook areas that look a lot like this one. This was the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for the southern plains and southern Mississippi River Valley that was issued Thursday morning, so yesterday morning for the rest of the day. Now the categories are marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, and high. But a little bit of a side note here that high is purple and not pictured here in this particular outlook because there just wasn't a high issued anywhere. So if you see any of these over our area, what does this tell us about your severe weather risk that day? Well, the outlooks are ranked from 1 to 5, where 1 is the lowest risk of severe, and 5, of course, would be your highest. They tell us about the coverage, the longevity, and the intensity of the potential storms that day. Now, a marginal risk means isolated severe storms are possible, but they're usually limited in duration, coverage, and intensity. A slight risk means that they can be more scattered severe storms. These are also short-lived and usually not widespread either, but isolated intense storms are a possibility. And enhanced means that numerous storms are possible. These storms, they can be more persistent, more widespread, and you can even get a few more intense storms out of it. A moderate risk means that widespread severe storms are likely. They will be long-lived, widespread, and very intense storms are possible. The final category, a high risk, that means widespread severe storms are likely. It's pretty much a given. They will be long-lived, widespread, and particularly intense. So we're talking dangerous situations here. Now here in central PA, we typically see marginal and slight risks more than you see the others. However, we can get up to a few enhanced risk areas over us each season. And although it is very rare, we can get a moderate outlook, but it's usually only once a season, and that's if it even happens that year. So keep in mind, even with your low-end marginal risk or even your slight risk categories, you can still get some intense storms that can cause wind or hail damage or produce a tornado. It's all just about coverage, like we just went over. Your coverage, your duration, and the intensity. Stay tuned every Friday for all of the whys behind the weather wonders that capture our attention each week.